Both these teams, again, fighting for another week of action. Loser will be done. We'll have to go through the qualification process all over again in stage 2. And I think just, having not seen a lot of film or tape or just any broadcasts, just kind of in commentary sense surrounding some of these players, I'm just excited to learn more about players that we don't often get a chance to see. How many times have we had that happen over the course of the last couple of years, and you see someone pop off in this type of a matchup, and then they get picked up into a team that's more middle of the pack, and then they keep popping off, and it's like, oh, okay, this is the next person up. There's always kind of a hidden gem, so to speak, in matches that look like this.
Yeah, I really love that shout out. It's that opportunity to just showcase that talent. Like, even if you end up being that team that gets eliminated, it's still that opportunity to showcase your individual prowess in these moments. And you're saying, sometimes it's about finding a diamond in the rough, a player that you really see that potential in that you can really build upon. Right now, I think as we start heading into this particular matchup, we're already seeing, some of the conditioning that we're going to be expecting here from Always on the side of Hyperspeed Golden with that fault line over towards that A lobby, trying to get a bit of that information, but a bit of a heavier fight and stack on this A side. Interesting read here from Hyperspeed, trying to deny any sort of
That'll work. The hit go on the way. Aftershock already pulled through quickly here, so Hyperspeed expecting a lot of aggression, and they will at least control A long, as well as stop the play towards B. Alarm bot in position at garage, so in terms of defensive setup, Hyperspeed have gotten the right reads to this point. Cats able to at least show some force, but backs away with the high gear. Defense going to almost match the rotation here, and as the re-clear of A long starts to come through, the fault line should be queued up and just about ready to go here as the execute comes through again. Whoa!
Things are getting kind of weird here, Shift.
Yeah, touch. And Cats, the first to drop. That's going to be a name that is never going to make me not smile as I cast it. Winter and Nova, they'll respond. So 2v3 situation over the top of Sewers. Nova gets another one. A bit surprisingly so. Eventually traded away. This little double stack over to the outside of Sewer will win out the site and win the pistol for Hyperspeed.
Done here.
Nice retake coming in here from Hyperspeed. I think for Frost, there is an idea, but a bit of that spacing just not quite coming through with the amount of space that Melee Cats was able to take. And again, the backside play there for Hyperspeed Golden made it pretty comfortable to try and shut down that aggressive take towards that A site. England's going to be opting for the Marshall into this round. We don't get to see the Marshall super often since the Outlaws come out and how potent it is. With that 140 to the body, considering the fact that, able to take down those players with the light shields, depending on how that economy ends up crumbling.
Patience, though, here first and foremost for Frost. Can they show enough pressure to potentially get Cats through C? Problem is there's a sentry turret there, so that will likely be all that is needed to stop the late lurk with only classics in hand. All drone from Cross Unity, not going to see anything behind the Viper screen, so there will be a chance to burst onto site here. Fault line is not available right now for Always. And as the sentry turret is deleted, the defense is going to try to rotate off. This time it's not ideal. Really good paranoia. It's going to give Frostwhite a chance. Cross Unity playing the other side of the spite now. Intercede. A little bit of damage out. Follow-up flash is nice to help out onto the site, but damage is in. Should be some weapons collected here. And we're going to get a 2v3 post plan.
You do have, the close paranoia available here. Melee Cats is going to be caught out by that, but it doesn't matter. It's just a near sight, able to still land that right click now, right down to the wire. And not able to do too much. However, for Frostwhite, you got to be really happy with that. Sure, they might not secure that round win, but that's 4 players down on the side of Hyperspeed Golden plus that spike initiated.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Okay, so Hyperspeed off to the races, but this bonus will be a little bit more hard-pressed to come online. You've got, of course, the Phantom that will still hold, but any purchases will have to be measured to at least ensure that Hyperspeed Golden can get a full purchase in round 4. So expect mostly just pistol upgrades, a couple shotguns, maybe an SMG or 2. Other side of things, though, with the amount of eliminations plus the plant, essentially full purchase. Rena's going to evaluate that, yep, the Outlaw will have value here. So no reason not to grab it. And we're going to go to an opportunity for Frostbite to get on the board.
Curious to see what that plan of attack is going to be. Looking like just a general default. Let's see if Hyperspeed Golden want to get aggressive. There will be the walk down towards a lobby here. Ruin that we were talking about.
Wow.
I thought the second one hit. I'm not gonna lie.
Same. Absolutely same. Well, Rena eventually is able to connect. Always will be the one to drop. So that show of force towards A-Long not going to work out. You still have two players pushed up over to C-Long, though. Lots of Killjoy utility in and around either Barrage or B. Ruin on the cross, shut down immediately. And Cloudsy is able to find another on the cross. So this is looking really good for the first gun round, so to speak, for Frostbite. Shoulder seen and taken off. And for Pangolin, last opportunity to do much is going to be held. So it's going to be impossible to follow this round here. And hey, look at this. Nope, knocking the full arena. No reason to move their eyes. And Frostbite get a flawless round of the board.
I'm kind of surprised that the Nano Swarm flash came through, I guess. It's like, what, 200 creds down the drain? But for Frostbite, a very convincing anti-eco round to come out from them. Nova also cycling into that Hunter's Fury into this round here as well. Could go for some sort of zoning ultimate on an execution. Seems like for Frostbite, so far it's been, you know, these 3-1-1s is the favored default for them. You've got the Omen and the Sova playing alongside the Neon to ensure that there is that support available, and then players on it.
Well, here we go. Hunter's Fury behind the pre-fire. Pangolin somehow still alive. And is going to try to take cover a little bit closer to sight to at least get a 1-for-1 corner. But Frost is going to back off, and an Odin shot through mid is going to be where the actual first blood comes from. So that's surprising, especially considering it looked like Frostbite had everyone they possibly needed to get a first blood at sea.
You get the deep enemy tag into a lobby here as well. That just buys so much time from Cross Unity with the drone. Now rotation to be called over, leaning a bit heavier towards that A site for the assistance.
Now this could be menacing. Bolt will not reveal anything, but Lover is still
30
primed
seconds
and ready. And that barrel is all you need to see. Or is it? Cross able to find one response. Nice shot. Secondary. No. Arena's able to help out. Nova can commit now to the plant. 3v3. Retake going to be required. Always is low on health. And honestly, going up to heaven with 10 HP is a bold strategy. So they're going to have to wait for the smoke to fade and maybe to Pangolin to get around the back. Ruin might be the first one to make noise. Rena is watching this long route through this A position at lobby. Oh, goodness. And Rena is able to snap over, but Always does find the elimination. Can you work your way into sight, though, if you're Always? Here comes the play for the defusal. And Always is able to safely touch ground. Cloudsy looking for the cross. There's the angle, but Always able to find the headshot at 10 HP. It was always treacherous coming down from heaven with that amount of health, but they do it safely, and Hyperspeed get the round win for their third.
Yeah, picking that Odin back up here as well, but Hyperspeed, in these moments, I feel like we've seen really nice heroics coming out from these individual players thus far. Now you also have, you know, them cycling into ultimates of their own, right? One away from that Rolling Thunder on the side of Always. You have the Hunter's Fury available here for Cross Unity. Seems like they're calling for a stack over towards that seaside. Curious what the read is when it comes down to what they're anticipating. Maybe just knowing that Frost seeing, you know, the economic situation. Instead, they're just full sending it down C-Long. I did not see this coming.
This is insane. Hunter's Fury going to be behind this, teleporting right into the middle of it. Rolling Thunder as well. My goodness, it is spaghetti on the floor over here at C. And it turns out that Frost will have the advantage and a chance to quickly rotate for a very rapid plan on A.
Hey, it's an opportunity for Cross Unity to also pick up another weapon alongside always as well, right?
Toxin screen down.
Now, Rena taking a bit of a risk, you know, watching this flank solo. 2v1, here's the steps. Wall goes up here as well. Might give him a false sense of security.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, Rena. This was a little unnecessary, but all right. Gets the little 1v2 outside of A lobby, and we're got a 3-2 affair after some chaos there in round 5.
That was a huge investment out of Hyperspeed Golden to be losing that round. I know round 4 into that retake, it came right down to the wire. They didn't have, you know, the money despite winning out. But that's definitely got to be tough, investing both initiator ultimates as well as that overdrive to and win that round out and have it not go in your favor. Mad respects to the idea. I do like, you know, with where they were going with that, but Frost were just so quick to pivot, they weren't really able to capitalize as heavily as they wanted to.
Well, judge in the midst for paying, but full purchase otherwise for Hyperspeed. Speaking of Hyperspeed, overdrive available for me like cats who could go fast. And there may be some action for paying. Ultron needs to not see this. Oh, what a step up. Only finds one though, and honestly, that is more than enough for first. Frost Wolf. Frost White. Wow. Can I just pick a name to get onto the site and look at this from Winter? Always will drop. Garage control is in, and for Cross and Ruin, they're going to have to rework this from C-Long, which is not fun.
It's a great plant spot here for Frostwhite as well. So aware of the fact that he wanted to go for that mid backstab.
Go, go, go.
I'm gonna put some pressure on the spike. Playing a little bit of bodyguarding here. Ruin able to get the healthiest one so far. Recon bolt deleted. Now Cross is gonna have to make a play for the stick. There's another follow-up. Now it's just down to Winter. They didn't predict this correctly. Winter's able to find one. The full swing from Cross has it to halfway, but will with the win. It's gonna be tight. No, not gonna happen. And the Red Bull clutch comes through for a tie game.
Nicely done to buy that time there for Frost White. Right down to the wire. These rounds have gotten so scrappy when it comes down to, you know, those final fights. Now, full pistol round here. Sheriff's on the board for Hyperspeed Golden. 2 away from Pangolin's ultimate with that lockdown. Potentially to come out into this round. But again, man, it's like so hard to call these rounds here in game cheaters because when those sheriffs come out, things get weird. Players hit some insane shots. Like, it's just always still open here for these players.
Ooh, okay. Pistols out for Hyperspeed here in this round after the weird purchases have come by. At least there's a trade. So we have 4v4 with the weapon advantage for Frost White. We'll have them leaning A. Pangolin is the one who is defending, has mostly the setup at long to help. Everything else would just be a bonus. Dark cover placed. Hang. Walking for the pixel. Now has to escape into the dark cover. Successful in doing that. That's your spike carrier there. More weapon flashes seen, but me like cats is able to get the trade. 3v3.
Just the awareness of how important this round is here for the side of Frostbite. Investment of that Viper's Pit just to ensure that it gets that much more uncomfortable. Flank has been really here as well.
Oh, and always gave themselves a chance. Playing off of their own flash, not going to work. Cross, Lover, now trying to surround the Viper's Pit.
Last player standing.
Lover Girl will fall. Last one up is Cross, and there's just not really a world you figure that they can do too much with this.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, that would be right. 4-3, Frostwhite in the lead after the hot start from Hyperspeed. Full purchase should be on the way next.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth between these two teams. Don't even let this kind of fool you. Even though it looks like, okay, yeah, Frostwhite, they've won the last 3 rounds. They have a bit of that momentum. Aside from that eco that we just saw, again, every single round has been down to the wire. Timeout to be called here by Hyperspeed Golden while they want to get ahead of some issues. Maybe not even, okay, maybe I could be calling that wrong. I don't think it's so much getting ahead of issues, but probably looking at, you know, the ultimate economy on the side of Frostwhite, a bit of a discussion of how they want to approach this upcoming round. And what they're reading into for how Frostwipe might be anticipating to execute here in round number 8.
Okay. See if they can make a bounce back here in this full gun round. Big ultimates on the table for really both teams, obviously leaning and stacking over towards Frostwipe with the lockdown, the Hunter's Fury, the overdrive, which wouldn't anticipate seeing in this round. But on the other front, everything that we saw spent a couple rounds prior on that big hit through C long for the defensive hyperspeed is about to come back online. Lockdown is ready, but halfway to another Hunter's Fury. And Rolling Thunder is going to be key. And after the timeout, we'll see what Hyperspeed decides to do with this defensive setup.
I feel like Rina has definitely been a big impact player here for Frostwipe with the lurking targets. Penguin's going to get fully caught out with how quickly Cats was able to take that space.
Yeah, I just didn't anticipate that there was going to be a charge with Nanoswarm, I guess. But that's the lockdown off the table. Ruin looking for space. Does not anticipate Rina, but still finds the gut check headshot. So 4v4. A control still a little bit timid, so we dropped the owl drone just to see what's going on at long. The answer is nothing. Everything is sewer.
I'm out of here.
This is great timing here for Frostwipe. The fact that that phone didn't manage to catch anything like you had been talking about. Sure, there has been a sound signal now at this point. Frostwipe,
You should run.
Gonna cut noise. They have the lockdown initiated. No retake lockdown available with Pangolin having gone down earlier.
So this will push them off site. Ruin is in some trouble here. Oh my. Yeah, that is not how you want to try to withstand a lockdown with a Hunter's Fury available and a Neon in the mix. So punishment is in, and we're going to go to 4v2.
It was a gorgeous relay bolt that was thrown into hell, just being so aware of that gap. Really nicely done there. Bit of information seeking on that flank, but for these two players here on Hyperspeed, Golden, Lovergirl, and Always, really they're just going to be anticipating that save. Money situation has not been looking too hot. And these hero rifles could make all of the difference heading into the next round because we still have that lockdown available there. Especially more potent now that that Hunter's Fury and the lockdown on the side of Frostwipe have been utilized into this round.
Well, this next round will be quite important. Save attempted, but no, it's not going to happen. Okay, at least Lovergirl can stay up and alive to bring one rifle into the mix, but Hyperspeed are in some trouble here. Keep in mind, this is their map selection. No, Melee Cats has just been dominating legitimately. I mean, 11-4 feels like a lot of the damage has been done on entry, which is what we often like to see. You know, we're talking about entry duelists like a Neon.
I think those relay bolts have been really consistent there for Melee Cats, and just generally the support from the rest of the team, like Nova with those recon darts. You've got the Paranoia out from Cloudsy as well. All of that utility connecting and assisting Melee Cats and having that kind of success into these rounds. Again, I like these walk-up plays over into A long.
Spike down A.
Almost a chance for multiple, but not going to happen. Frostwipe going to take their advantage and head elsewhere. C is wide open at the moment, so the rotation timing is pretty solid here for Frostwipe. Of course, they won't know that, but regardless, you're away from Always, which is big. Now, Pangolin still has the lockdown, so you do have to force some urgency to get on site, or some sort of a decision, unless Pang just gives away their life there at long. So that'll be an easy plan, and Frostwipe is likely to get the round here.
Yeah, Melee Cats is just feeling it right now. I mean, you see the aggression, but it's also measured. You're not seeing like, that kind of overextension coming through. Always now. Down into a 1v4 situation. You have guys in the arena who are super low, but again, how important it is to keep these rifles, not looking to sacrifice their life too much, trying to back away from them.
Wow. Ace for Melee Cats. And Frostwipe is doing everything correct even after the timeout. So loss bonus is going to come through here, give Hyperspeed another purchase. But boy, do they need to win this round. Otherwise, this half might just be a little out of hand.
Yeah, and again, talked about how kind of dangerous that is heading into Split, a map that has historically been weak on the side of Hyperspeed Golden. You talked about it right at the beginning. How important this map was for their map pick to go into the favor of Hyperspeed Golden. Sure, not out of the woods just yet, though. Great aftershock to deny the scaling from the Cats.
Rena will get the credit for the first elimination. Cloudsy teleports into sight. Oh my gosh, the timing of that is absolutely perfect. Stops Ruin from ruining the play. Easy pun there. And Frostwhite is going to have a 4v2 post plant again.
And they've just been looking a bit of a step ahead of Hyperspeed Golden with how they want to go for those executes. I think that tempo is also catching Hyperspeed Golden off hand in some moments. Like, Melee Cats is just so quick to scale and so unafraid to. Great paranoia setup to take up this hold. Now super low. That's all that they're going to go for. They just want to do a little bit of that damage now. Having to, again, look to save these rifles.
Wow. I mean, initially, when we got into this first half, it looked like we were going to have a pretty back and forth affair. And a lot of these rounds have come down to some really tight moments. But Hyperspeed, really, since that push through C-Long, have not had anything going. And that C-Long push didn't work. But it was just like this super investment into it. Kind of like, felt like a tilting point in this first half. And they're going to have the opportunity to at least flood some ults here. But I mean, we may as well force buy right now with what ults we have and the weapons that are already in hand. So always needs to make a decision on this. And if you survive through this round, if you're Frostwhite, you might be looking at a 9-3 half.
Let us hunt.
Yeah, pivotal here for Hyperspeed Golden. Ultimates could definitely be the difference maker, especially with the fact that Frostwhite don't have any to answer with in return.
Revealing area.
This toxic screen over towards A has also just been such a constant pain point here. I think it's applied so much pressure on Hyperspeed Golden, and I want to give them the credit of the fact that they've been trying different things to look to deal with it. But when it comes down to the fights that happen as a result, Frostwhite have just consistently been coming out on top.
I like this. We've seen teams try to like pull a fake at B to pull the Rolling Thunder, and then you rewrap quickly to A. Can they do that? Rena's showing some lurking presence at A. Alarm bot's deleted at B, but nope. The defense is not taking the bait. And now this is where we're going to see the fake. Fast lane. See if you can trigger it. Hunter's Fury gets pulled off of that, so not the end of the world. Shotgun out. Ooh, lots of damage. Rena's with the connection to the headshot. Now it's Cross. Has to step up. Able to find the first and second before the trade comes out. Relay bolt comes through. Always not affected by it, though. Holds the line. And the defense looks good here for Hyperspeed. 3v2.
Yeah, just trying to mad dash over towards the C site, knowing that that rotation has already been pulled. We do have one nanoswarm as well here for the post plant. Great space that Cloudsy is able to take to get that spike initiated.
10 seconds.
Questionable plant, though. I don't really feel... I don't love that one, especially with the fact that you have CT here for Cloudsy.
Well,
it becomes awkward.
I think it's just they're dealing with the fact that they know that CT is likely where the rotation is going to come through. So you find the first. Now gives you the chance to scale a little bit back, but I hear you. I mean, you could have had it set up in a very different way, but this is the choice. We'll see if it pays out. Flash gives the intention that here comes the play. Rolling Thunder, does it come out? Secondary flash is out. Both players shrug off the effects. Shots initially aren't clean, but they still come through, and Frostwhite pull back what looked to be an absolutely lost round. And now it's 8-3 with the last round of the half coming up.
I think it was just a really heads-up reposition that you were calling there from Cloudsy. Things got would have gotten a little dodgy if maybe they overstayed their welcome, and it's a bit of a toss-up of whether a player feels like they can, you know, take that kind of risk, especially when you're down. But really nicely done. Hyperspeed Golden. They still managed to get that buy into this round, you know, considering the round loss buff to your economy and whatnot. It's kind of crazy to think, though, that we still have not seen this lockdown being used. And I think that's why you see this very passive setup this time on that A site. They know that Frostwhite like to poke and prod into short, into long, see if they can get that initial pick. And Hyperspeed Golden on this round, they want to ensure that KJ ultimate gets to be utilized and won't give them anything.
What can you muster if you're Hyperspeed here? Again, like you mentioned, the ultimates have to be a key factor of whatever this defense is going to look like, and you're already setting yourself up for an early lockdown at A. Spike is not committed here yet, though. And I like this idea. Can you possibly see if you can pull one of those ults early at B and then give an opportunity to me like Cats to play the flank? The alarm bot in the way is the only big issue, though.
Yeah, I think that if that alarm bot got broken, it's a bit of a different story.
Standing ahead.
What?
Go, go, go.
Line lockdown. Alarm bot's deleted.
Turret being broken on B.
Yeah, but like, oof. So now it's going to be an 8 commit. It's going to be a free plant. The Rolling Thunder may not get here in time to actually contest this. And with Frost giving this to Nova, they're going to have a Hunter's Fury to play on the post plant. There's the Rolling Thunder, but it's too late. Overdrive comes through, immediately shut down by Melee Cats. Hunter's Fury to follow, but no one clears out Hell, so now it's just down to shredding apart this defense with the Hunter's Fury, and that will work. Frostwhite, after the first 4 rounds, say no more nonsense, pull away a handful in a row, and are 9-3 up.
It's a clinical first half there for Frostwhite. Things got definitely dodgy there, Shift into that round. Really weird on the defense there for Hyperspeed Golden. I think I could see the idea when it came down to, you know, the pressure that they were putting, but just very well measured from Frostwhite, I think, to bait out and goad those plays out of Hyperspeed Golden to ensure that they could have a clean and more comfortable execution. But now, I mean, the other factor is, what are you going to do when Melee Cats is dropping 19 and 7?
Correct, on the first half. In takeover mode, that much is for sure.
Granted, though, on attack, it's also a chance for Hyperspeed Golden to control that tempo a little bit more.
Sure.
You know, they were kind of in the hands of Frostwhite, what they were looking to do when they tried to seize control of that tempo. On the defensive side, things did really well with that long push. And a great opener here for Ruin to start things off. Pistol so important here for Hyperspeed.
Really, really nicely done. So Nova down. Hyperspeed looking for the C stack. Gonna kill the noise here for a moment. And then make a go. Yeah, I mean, this is giving the defense some time to feel things out on the A site, though.
Yeah, getting that info. You don't have that flank watch utility as well, so Pangolin is kind of stuck in this position by herself.
Wow. That gives me like Cats a chance on that long flank. It's going to force the go call through the alarm bot, nano swarm, the smoke. Defense will give up the space for now, waiting for the potential of either a flank or garage. Be where they come from. You do have Cloud Z with the paranoia still. Keep an eye on that. And that's going to cut across the site right here, right now. Smoke also embellishing a lot of this choke point. As always, Ruin are going to find the first elimination of the retake attempt. Nowhere to go for Frostwhite. Winter, yeah, that's just too much of a high low, and Ruin's going to get 4 in the round there, so already halfway charged with overdrive.
Go, go, go. Yeah, clean pistol round here for Hyperspeed Golden. Exactly what we wanted to see from them. Ensure that they could have a really good chance at coming back here into their map pick of Haven. We're also getting a bit of an idea of the style of play, I guess, that we're going to expect from Ruin with the judge coming out into this following round here as well. Kind of that expectation that likely means they'll be hitting either towards mid into garage or trying to take that A lobby control. Whichever way it may be. I say that and we're leaning C with the judge. So I mean, you never know. There is that opportunity to try and get up. Look at the scale.
Whoa! Pull right through the wall. Cross able to stop a lot of this play, and a couple of pot shots will have Rina tagged just a touch. Do you expect Rina to
remaining?
Yeah, you do. And plus, you get the judge, like you mentioned, over towards C in effect. So looks like Hyperspeed will get their 5th here. Nova will do what they can.
Yeah, just about maybe doing a little bit of chip damage if possible here for Nova.
Spike planted. Team Ace.
Nope. Not gonna do much. Okay, everyone gets a kill. And now you start to talk about hyperspeed. Can you actually build some momentum here with a very, obviously, pure bonus on the way? You've got Spectres, Bulldog, Judge, all very workable. Paying, what do you want to purchase? Should be something with some firepower, like a Guardian maybe, just to give you some, long range ability. That's going to be what's called in. And on the opposite front, ooh, Judge instead of the Outlaw for Cloudsy will have first full gun round established for Frostbite.
Hey, I mean, what better way to deal with a Judge than having a Judge of your own, right? Now already denying that forward angle into a lobby here from you like Cats, forcing the reposition to come through.
Shots coming through, be like, pardon me? What? How did that even just happen? Little fadeaway classic shots is going to make the work happen. Follow-up from Rina is good, and now you've got Frostbite looking for some aggression to take back the space. They've already got the spikes. They've got everything they could possibly want. But that was a very surprising interaction with me like Cats right there.
Things got weird, but at the same time, I guess, you know, teams pushing through a poison orb, you got that decay applied. Yeah, there's the expectation that classic a stray shot might just do them in. Still winnable
player
considering
standing.
how low HP some of these players are. It's going to be set up. Pangolin, they are able to get one, not much more.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Little high-low will finish us off. Double digits for Frostbite. And 10-5 count means that, yes, hyperspeed, yes, you lose your bonus, but yeah, the urgency surrounding you being able to put together gun rounds is immediate. So you're going to pull an operator early for Pang. Bold to do that on the offensive front, but we'll see if they can find a way to make use of it. On the flip side, looks like there will just be this normal rifles as you would figure. Always as close to a Rolling Thunder. That could be a big difference maker. Same could be said for Pangolin if they do start to connect with the op with the lockdown. You're going to need those things to try to get this back to level terms.
Placing sentry.
You're looking to just finish that aggression that's coming through and nobody to be taken out early. Information now gone.
Well, okay, we're just going to keep forcing this if you're Frostbite. You like Cats is going to survive all of this with just 2 HP. But the spike being down will have hyperspeed. A little cautious of that mid window for a small being. And
right here.
we'll just cross our teeth, dot our eyes, collect the spike, and move on our merry way to a 4v3.
I have the spike.
Map's pretty open
Take
beside
flight.
hyperspeed golden as well. I like this drone to re-clear middle window and underneath. Not actually going to get to spot out Cloudsy's position though.
Well, no way they do this
Spike
again.
down mid.
Another low health pool member who has no business finding eliminations has gotten us to a 2v2. 30 seconds on the clock, and the wrap looks like it's going to head over towards A. And this is feeling a little nervy for hyperspeed golden right now.
Yeah, they have no idea which site Frostbite has decided to lean towards. Luckily for them, it is a free A site for the taking at the very least, and Me Like Cats is incredibly low, down to 2
10 seconds
HP
left.
into this retake scenario. When it comes to utility though, hyperspeed golden, they only have the one flash to work with here for always.
Here we go. And once more, the angle is owned. You like Cats gets in. Winner finds one. Crossfire setup always. Rolling Thunder. Gonna use it as soon as the toggle comes through, but Winter doesn't get affected by this, at least not fully. Has a chance to re-hit this, always moving quickly. Gets to halfway and is able to win the last gunfight, so hyperspeed hang on to the round, but ooh, for a 3v5, that got expensive.
It did. It really did. It's kind of crazy how long Me Like Cats was able to live. Coming down to the 2v2 retake on site, is wild, especially with the bait that they were putting out there for Cloudsy to play off of as well into mid. This middle control is going to be something that I think Frostbite are going to continue to push the issue on. For a lot of these rounds, it seems like that mid control is a big part of kind of the defensive-sided reaction, depending on what happens on that A lobby side. Shifting the play, though. Very deep line that they're looking for to get that information early on. Put that pressure on the flanker there of Penguin as well. Pressure done. Penguin's still going to be playing within the smoke. Here's the TP up. You should understand that there's a bit of a funky setup here into A lobby. Meanwhile, Hyperspeed Golden, they're just trying to how much they can get out of this C side. Winter's already incredibly low, forcing themselves to...
Oh no. And somehow, some way, Penguin's able to get the kill onto Cloudsy, who's trying to play forward. Rena also going to drop. So it looks like we should be good for a 7th round. Always going to check the corner. Be like Cats, overdrive. Wow, feeling like they can win this round. But shut down immediately by Cross. And that will leave it just to Nova for the 1v4.
Drone available, Dart as
30
well,
seconds
but
left.
this is a round that
Spike
Hyperspeed
planted.
Golden should not be losing ultimately, unless some very grave mistakes end up being made. And I think now, being in control of that tempo, Hyperspeed Golden, they definitely look a lot more comfortable on attack than they did on defense. I feel like on the defensive side, there's a little bit of that reliance on trying to make some of those trap plays and always work, and it relied on Frostway actually walking in to those trap plays, right? But when you're on the attacking side, you get to kind of call a little bit more on where you want to be focusing, what the game plan is, and I think that's where we're really starting to see Hyperspeed Golden.
Just coming back.
Okay.
Time out.
Full weapons back in play, though, for Frostwhite. Is there an opportunity to try to stave off what has been a very good second half start here for Hyperspeed? And they're going to keep playing with this aggression down mid. We've seen Frostwhite really try to keep that tempo up. Alarm bot's at the window, though. That is going to make this a complete foil. But we're going to push through this, because would you really expect it for Penguin that 4 players are here? Sees the first. Hyperspeed is backing them up to see if they can kind of re-clear window. There's a high-low setup here. First blood is in. Now it's just down to King to force the battles. Rena able to get another one. Paranoia is going to be in the mix, and oh my. Counter flash position coming through. Ruin. To get one, but Clouds just... Wait, did they just fake or bait the teleport? Not actually go as far as they thought they did?
Yep.
Weird moment to be sure. But Clouds becomes away the winner, and now all of a sudden, you're stuck in a weird space. You're going to hit the From the Shadows to get to safety and play out the 1v2 the rest of the way.
Really nice reposition with the From the Shadows. Ensuring that you're consistently playing those numbers here. Those teleport plays is something to definitely continue to keep our eyes out on the side of Cloudsy. It feels like we've seen some really bold moments where they've been a playmaker during those times now.
30 seconds left.
Always, though. After getting that spike initiated, she does have a lot of utility that she can still work with into this post plant. You've got that fault line that cycled back into play, 1 flash available, and the aftershock. Caught out with util in hand. Cloudsy to put the nail in the coffin, and Frostwhite get up to 11.
One of those moments that, based on the timing, you almost wish you didn't have any utility, so you kept your gun up. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Valorant timing at its finest. 11-7 the count. Frostwhite finally able to get something on the board, but purchase is still going to be a little haggard coming in around 19 here. So still an opportunity here for Hyperspeed to keep building on their bank accounts, especially with Penguin dropping into what would be another operator, but a lot to talk through. The Viper's Pit's available. That's going to be likely one of the key elements of this upcoming round. Hunter's Fury is one away here for Frostwhite. Other side of things, you've got almost everything ready to go. Just need an orb for always. So plenty to discuss in terms of early orb pressure. What do we want to spend? How do we want to use it? Definitely merits the timeout.
Oh, for certain. I really like that they're calling this timeout. It's that understanding that this round makes or breaks Haven for them. If they lose it, that's Frostwhite running away with a Haven win. And I mean, sure, there's a world where they might not. But if they did lose this round, it's just that much more likely that Frostwhite would be able to close this that much earlier. So to get that 8th round on the board, to ensure that they're also maintaining a healthy enough economy, I think is the other important thing. Like, even if they're able to win out this round, they've got to be carrying over as many of these rifles as possible so they don't get stuck in, you know, those awkward kind of buy situations. Now, I think you've also got, you know, a bunch of ultimates to work with here. Pangolin, I think it's a good answer with that operator to be kind of expecting that defensive-sided aggression that Frostwhite really favors, because they really push into you. So it's that opportunity to try and deny those flanks a lot earlier.
Early pressure at C-Long. There's the orb to always.
Revealing area.
Looks like we were going to set up for a C-Long post plant here, likely behind that Harness Fury. Nanoswarms will be expended. And surely we plant this on the corner. Yeah, the lockdown will make sure there's not an immediate contest, but we're going to wait a little longer. Not hearing much. The Hunter's Fury come through to deny to get the retake a little bit faster? No, instead we're going to wait for the long flank from Rina, who will have to beat the timing of the scope, as all they have is a judge. The post plant will lean, like I mentioned, over towards C-Long. Now the Hunter's Fury is out for cross. Feeling like that was enough for the post plant to start to be threatened. Overdrive for Ruin. Shut down, and they didn't expect it to be a judge. Looking for the rifle. Melee Cats up the final entryway from the front. Hunter's Fury for the defense starting to come through here, and the follow-up for Melee Cats is good. Pangolin trying to hang as they found a rifle to work with. That's good for 4 in the round, and Nova's not gonna have the time. What an absolutely insane finish to round 19. Hyperspeed able to retain the operator and get us back to within 3.
But not as clean as they would have wanted that to be either, though. Still able to afford a full buy into this. Gonna have to be no shields on the side of Cross Unity, but a really nice recovery nonetheless. I think Rina definitely put the work in there with the judge on the flank, being able to shut down the likes of Ruin, and also baiting out that initial shot there from Pangolin as well. But really nice ultimate usage, but it was a huge investment from Hyperspeed Golden into that round to find that success in the first place.
Well, here we go. All the ults are pretty much off the table. Winter is 1 away from a defensive lockdown. And all it takes is holding the W key to get the C site here for Hyperspeed Golden. A-Long has been taken. Mid's also cleared out by Aldrone. So you've got the other 66% of the map if you're Frostwhite. But this is the third of the map that matters. And Penguin watching the flank with an operator is not going to miss that. So you already have your smokes off the table. Aldrone late here for Hyperspeed. Feels out some pressure. Yoden holding down the trigger. It's a connection with the shock dart that gets it kicked off. And yeah, there's nowhere to go there. So it's just pistols out, essentially. Flawless round is tallied, and Hyperspeed are now knocking on the door of a tie game.
Slowly closing that gap. Very measured. And it's just been a game of, honestly, the attacking side for both these teams.
Placing sentry.
Momentum's definitely been on the side of Hyperspeed Golden, it feels like, since that timeout. I feel like we're seeing them take fights with a little bit more of that confidence as well. So kind of curious to see what that conversation was really like there on that squad. Winter does have the lockdown available into a retake for this round.
Revealing area.
Into a lobby, the fault line to come in will be trying to fully back off of site and ensure that KJ ultimate can still maintain to be in play here into a retake.
Bot early triggered and deleted. Nanoswarms containing the main entryway as well as the default plant spot with the sentry drone guarding over towards sewer. So no one, like you mentioned, playing on site, likely playing for an A retake. I like this dark cover at mid. It's going to put some curiosity into the minds of Hyperspeed, who have been tested at mid window a couple of different times. Melee Cats by themselves do not get the time to get into the corner. It doesn't feel necessary at this part of the game, but 5v4 nonetheless for Hyperspeed. Paranoia cutting through garage here. The defense putting some pressure onto Hyperspeed, who are going to eventually rewrap this thing over to A by the look of it.
But again, you still have that lockdown that's available here for Winter. A bit of that start potential as well with the Nano Swarm on default and into that A long choke. Sure, turret is only watching into A short, so there is that opportunity to walk onto the site here for the side of Hyperspeed Golden.
Here comes the hit. One Nano Swarm will come through. The timing of the lockdown will force the plant and the exit. It looks like Lovergirl may just try to hold this position. See what they can find. Now, gonna teleport away at the last second and then commit to it. Does get detained. Wait, that's an interesting call. So now all of a sudden, at least you get out, but the defense have reclaimed the site. Trigger onto the fuse. Pangolin getting the first one trying to clear. No one's home because of the angle, and Ruin's able to find a couple. Winter able to get one in response. The defense need to find eliminations. Decent snake bite, but it doesn't really defect most of this post plant. And this is just a little too simple. Just Reyna, last one left. Able to find one. Almost able to get the second, but no, instead it's Ruin for another 4 kills in the round. And both teams really struggling defensively here.
No matter what.
It's kind of crazy how right down to the wire again so many of these rounds end up coming down to. I think and into the second half we've seen Me Like Cats also slow down a lot. Still definitely getting their picks and whatnot, but not being in control of that tempo has definitely shifted things for them. I think that what Hyperspeed Golden are doing really well though on their attack at the moment is after kind of seeing the conditioning that Frostwhite have been doing with those pushes down towards mid, they have an understanding of the pattern of how Frostwhite want to be playing this map on defense, what space they look to retake, and it's constantly that B walk down. And I feel like Hyperspeed Golden have been really good at punishing a lot of that overextension that has been happening in the middle of the map.
It just feels like a lot of these early chows for Frostwhite have just been too greedy. Like that walkout, try to getting into mid, like you talk about, just doesn't really feel necessary in the name of like map positioning for the sake of map positioning. It just doesn't really feel like we've had a moment really where either defenses have preferred to just sit on site and receive. And maybe that's just a little bit of just the lack of trust in the setup or the information that you're gathering early in rounds. But regardless of it, it's been punishing these First Bloods, playing forward well beyond the barriers.
Standing ahead.
Touchdown. To see Lobby here. Paranoia is going to connect on Lovergirl. Forcing the shrouded step out.
That's the spike. That's the spike. Oh my gosh. And it's just like, I don't understand why. Because now you're stuck here. Like, you have to push through. Like, I don't understand these defensive setups at all. This is just as free as it gets. I mean, I could hit those shots.
Spike planted.
It's pretty insane. I don't know. I feel like Pangolin's gotten so much value out of this operator on the attacking side, just watching the flanks coming in. And it's still been Frostwhite kind of consistently walking into that crosshair and not, using any utility to really deal with it. Making them very free picks. I mean, that doesn't take away from the impact that Pangolin is having whatsoever, but my question is more on the side of Frostwhite of what is the actual game plan in those moments? You want to clear out the operator on that flank, but we're not really utility-wise like investing in that. So how are we going to make the adjustment happen so that you can potentially win out this map that you started out with a 9-3 lead on?
Yeah, and I think some of it is like, I understand like I've talked about from the last round. It's like you want to establish some map control. You also are trying to take away some of the long range angles that the scope could find contest in. But like, once we get C long, why do we feel like we have the ability of pushing beyond that? It's the same thing with 2 rounds ago. Like, the same thing happened at A long. And now we're just going to get the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality. If it works for them, maybe it works for us. Operator for operator exchange. And this should have Frostwhite playing well behind the barriers now.
I'm out of here.
Are we regressing on this line after the fault line? really great bait with that recon.
Whoa, messy, but Cloudsy picks up.
Go, go, go.
So now 5v3. Frostwhite, first decent start on this defensive half yet. And for the first time, Hyperspeed will need to figure out what they want to do, carrying an Odin and an Operator with 60 seconds on the clock. Purchase is fine across the board. So there'd be no reason to not go for this, but how?
It's really tough. Really relies on finding some sort of pick, and Frostwhite being up 2 players aren't going to give them anything. Now, this is the adjustment that you were asking for, a shift. Playing a little bit more bunkered on site, a bit more passive, forcing Hyperspeed Golden to walk into them instead of constantly bringing the fight into their favor.
30 seconds left.
There's still so much utility to deal with here into mid as well. Alarm bot still on B, turret inside garage. You have Nano Swarm on the left side of default to deny that side of the too.
When you get Lover Girl up top with the Odin, that gives you a chance.
10 seconds left.
Frost Plant now has a Hunter's Fury, but instead is going to try to play behind Gone. Good angle. Oh, better shot from Nova. And no overdrive needed. Frostwhite will have a flawless round here in round 23. Get the map point first. But on the other side, take a look at the ults that are available again. Pang has another lockdown. Cross has another Hunter's Fury. And Ruin is one off an overdrive. What I'm getting at is we have the makings of a very likely overtime here unless the Operator works out for me like cats again.
Viper's Pit is available here for Rina as well, though, so that could be a lane that gets shut down right off the gate here on the side of Frostwhite. I'm curious to see what the plan is going to be in that kind of regard. It does seem like it might be a move where you've got the short control in the hands of Me Like Cats with yeah, Viper's Pit's going to go along.
Oh, first shot from Me Like Cat's not going to land. Able to just barely get away. Has to spend the fast lane to do so. Lockdown in over towards Sewer to get the B site. Interesting. Me Like Cat still hanging. England still waiting to lurk. There's the smoke. There's the execute on the site. But honestly, behind a lockdown, this really didn't give you enough space to get a free plant. Yeah, Nova's able to find the spam thanks to the Nanoswarm stopping the plant. The lurk is through A, though, and you have to have some sort of a prediction on this. You cannot allow this to get through like this. And at least it's a little bit sloppy to give an opportunity for Me Like Cats to try to follow up. Meanwhile, other side, Rina has gotten through the Viper's Pit. Nice shot from Ruin. The Cross knows they have to watch the window. Doesn't win the first one. Just down to Ruin here from the front. Trying to get back to play as Pangolin. Overdrive out. Not an easy battle to take, though, as you got to watch 2 things at once. Rina does their job to find one, plus the pistol switch to find Pangolin. Cloudsy, enough time for the defuse. Frostwhite will survive through map number 1 on Hyperspeed's pick.